Hey y'all, it's Kate from the Literary Apothecary, and today I'm going to be talking about some books that I read with my brand new Kindle. If you've seen my videos before, you know that my boyfriend Howard got me a Kindle for my birthday last month, and I'm enjoying it so much. I love it. I love reading in bed with the little Kindle and the light that comes on, so I don't even have to put the big light on. So today I'm going to talk about 4 books that I read on the Kindle since I've gotten it. The first up is The Lies of Lamora by Scott Lynch. And I ended up DNFing this book because I just couldn't follow all of the jumps between in the points of view and the time. We had different points of views that were just put into the prose without any kind of delineation between the different points of views. And there was also way too many flashbacks that I was having a hard time figuring out when is present time and when is a flashback. And so I couldn't figure out if the main time was a flashback and we had flash forwards to the future, or the main time was this, future, the present, and we were having flashbacks to the past. And that really, really hindered my enjoyment of reading The Lies of Lamora. I think I got to about 100 pages before I gave up and said, you know what, I can't do this. There's not enough time in the day to read books that I'm not enjoying thoroughly, so I DNF'd it. And that's not to say that it's a bad book. A lot of people love The Lies of Lamora. I know Klaus and Joanna love it. It just wasn't for me. But don't let me hinder you from enjoying it or trying it out, because it might be for you. So many people love it that I'm actually shocked that I didn't. So, next up we have Awakens by Elise Kova, and this book I read along with another book that was very similar to it, and a lot of people love this book and this whole series. I gave it 3 stars. I loved the setting. The libraries are both magical and are real libraries. Sounded completely amazing. I want to spend all my entire time in those libraries.
The library is real.
But so here's some of my issues with Awakens. I couldn't jive with the main character. She was way too indecisive. She didn't know what she wanted, who she wanted it with, when she wanted it, where she wanted it, who she was even. And I can't follow a main character that's that indecisive. You need to know at least something in order for me to be able to follow you and resonate with me. And so I just didn't really care for her that much. I didn't care what happened with her. I was actually more interested in the character that we're not supposed to like, the Dark Prince.
You turned to the dark side.
I gave it 3 stars. I finished it, but I didn't enjoy it as much as I wanted to. I couldn't connect with any of the characters really, besides the Dark Prince, who we're not supposed to connect with. So 3 out of 5 stars for Awakens. I also read the Beantown Girls, and I gave this 3 out of 5 stars also. This was a fun, lighter historical fiction. If you're looking for one of those kinds of books, it's really great if you're looking for a light historical fiction. For me, when I read historical fictions, I like to have that big emotional pull throughout the whole book, and we didn't really get that a lot in this book, but I enjoyed the characters and the story. Those were both really great. Basically, the Beantown Girls is about these Red Cross girls that were sent during, I think it was World War II, to help increase the morale of the soldiers fighting on the front. So they would serve coffee and donuts and sing and just fraternize with the soldiers, and they were supposed to, bring their morale up. And a lot of times it really worked, according to the very light history in this book.
During the war, 140,000 Red Cross volunteers with their jeeps and trucks and trailers handed out 80 million cups of coffee a year, 125 million donuts, and who can count how many smiles?
So I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. I enjoyed it, but I wanted more of that emotional pull, especially in a World War II book that you often get. The last book that I have to talk about is When We Believed in Mermaids, and this was by, I believe, Barbara O'Neill, and I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. This was a strange but beautiful story. We have these two sisters, and so our main character has, for 15 years, believed that her sister was dead. She was killed in a terrorist attack in Paris, and then she sees her sister on the news one day, and her mom sees the same face, and so then they're led to believe that the sister is actually somehow alive. And so our main character goes to New Zealand, where this image was taken, the video was taken from the news, and she goes on this journey to find her sister, and she finds her, and we followed kind of this journey in New Zealand of her both finding her sister and going through all of those emotions of learning her story since then and coming to terms with everything and also finding love. And I really enjoyed this book. It didn't become 4 stars for me until the very end, when just everything kind of connected and came together and clicked into place. But I enjoyed it enough that it was a 3.5 star for most of the book, and then it bumped up to 4 stars. So When We Believed in Mermaids was a 4 star. One of the things that I enjoyed about the Beantown Girls and When We Believed in Mermaids was that I was able to both read this on the Kindle and listen to the audiobook on my Kindle. It wasn't complete immersion reading because you had to choose between one or the other, but it was an easy flip between them because you just hit a button and it brought you there. So that was one of the things that I really enjoy about my new Kindle and enjoyed about those 2 books. Let me know your favorite Kindle books in the comments below. I'm always looking for new books to read on my Kindle. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. As always, my Patreon and Discord information will be in the description below. Keep reading, and I love you all to the moon and back. Bye.